Hello everyone. Today I'm going to walk you through a couple of knife safety tips to get you started. So you always want to use a cutting board anytime you're using a knife, and it can be wooden or plastic or composite, but never cut directly on stone or glass. Not only could it damage your counters, but it will also dull your knives. So get yourself a cutting board, and you really want to find a damp cloth or a towel, like a kitchen towel, or some kind of no slip surface to place underneath your cutting board. And what this is going to do is keep your cutting board in place so that it doesn't slide around while you're chopping. And then it reduces the danger of cutting our fingers. All right. So for beginners, for most people, there are three main types of knives that will kind of serve all the purposes for your kitchen needs, okay? So the chef's knife, and there's a smaller version of this that's kind of a santoku, and there's a smaller utility knife, but this is a really good all-purpose. Chopping, cutting, slicing, it's gonna do most of the work in your kitchen for you. A serrated knife, and that's the one with the teeth, okay? And this guy is gonna be good for slicing bread and slicing those difficult things like tomatoes. This works really well for that. And then this little guy is called a paring knife, and it is used for really small detail work. So you can use it to trim the fat off of meat, to do some carving, or for something really small. And for people with really small hands, this is a good practice knife, but I'm gonna recommend your go-to every time is this or a slightly smaller version of this, because it does pretty much everything you need. All right, so now we want to talk about how do we hold this knife or any knife, especially one when we're worried about our fingers. So you grab the knife and you take your two pincher fingers and you place them at the very top of the blade, and you kind of pinch it while the rest of your hand curls around the handle, okay? This is going to give you, and it's okay to hold the blade. Try not to do this because it's really easy for your finger to slip. Use your pincher fingers, grab the top of the blade, and then hold the handle. This gives you the most control and will keep your hand from slipping. This doesn't work. It doesn't give you any control, and it doesn't allow for the movement you need for cutting or chopping. Okay, so we're gonna hold our knife, pinch the top, and hold it snug. And then we're gonna place the tip of the knife on the board. And we're gonna practice just a rocking motion, gentle and slow like a boat. This is how we slice and chop things, okay? So once you're feeling comfortable with this motion, and it's just like a boat, the tip of the blade doesn't usually leave the cutting board, okay? It shouldn't come up. We're not doing this, we're rocking. All right. So now once this hand is comfortable with the motion of the knife, what do we do with this hand? How do we hold whatever it is we're cutting? Because we want to keep our fingers. So we make the claw. Always practice this. Even professional chefs, we make the claw. And that way, when you're holding, let's say I have this cucumber, I don't want to hold it like this and cut. I want to make the claw and hold it like this so that when I'm slicing, I don't have the danger of trimming the tips of my fingers off, and it gives me more control and I can hold it steady, okay? So you can practice, make the claw, hold the knife, pinching the top of the blade, and just slice. Okay, now this is a pretty big item, so you can see that rocking motion, and I'm gonna go nice and slow because I want to make sure my fingers are safe and make sure my pieces are roughly the same size, right? When we're cutting, we want to try our best to make our pieces the same size, because when we're cooking, things will cook evenly if they are the same thickness. All right, the very last step. Now, let's say we didn't want cucumber slices, or we're cutting something round like a carrot or an onion, and it's rolling away from you, and you're worried about it rolling away. The really easiest thing to do would be to start by cutting a flat edge. So you can cut this in half, or you can cut the edge just so that it has a flat surface. And now when it lays on the cutting board, it doesn't roll. It can't go anywhere because it's flat. So this is now the easiest way to practice. Now I can practice that nice rocking motion. And you can see I can even actually brush the side of the blade up against my guard fingers because that's going to protect me. So it's actually okay to do that. And that allows me to kind of scoot back as I'm chopping. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful for you to get started, and I can't wait to see what you will make.